Say it louder, Africa, say it louder. Say it louder. Salam alaikum, assalamu alaikum, salam alaikum, assalamu alaikum, salam alaikum, assalamu alaikum, salam alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
United we stand, divided we fall. All we need is freedom. All we need is freedom. Free Africa's free. Free Africa's free.
Be free, be free, free from slavery. Free, be free, be free, free from slavery. Free, free yourself from mental slavery. Free, free yourself from mental slavery. Free, free yourself from mental slavery. Free, be free, be free, free from slavery. Be free, be free, free from slavery. Yeah.
We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war. We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war. We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war.
Salam alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Salam alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Salam alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Salam alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, African one. If you wanna be free, the most simplest one in the world. Get yourself developed with the reggae music coming straight to you from the one of the most peaceful man. So many lie down on the streets, what about them with their guns in the hands? Get yourself the most free time, I preach about freedom. Preach about freedom.
We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war. We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war. We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war.
All right, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you tune in today. This is Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. It's live. It's been a while. We apologize for not continuing on our schedule. But, you know, in life, there's so many things sometimes happen in life, and we have, you know, to cope up with these things. So actually, it been very hard for me because I lost a dear cousin that actually, you know, I took a month off, and then we have to go, of course, and do services like funeral in the state of Arizona. And that's why it took me a long time, you know, not to do a live episode for this time. Also, I moved from, you know, the state that I used to reside, and right now I am in the state of Iowa. And, you know, with the moving, it's kind of very difficult. As you can see now, I don't have my, you know, actual background. You can see I'm in my house, you know, and not yet, you know, settled with the studio and the background, but it's okay. You know, I still can conduct that. So thank you. You know, I really want to thank those who supported our family, you know, on this difficult time, you know, losing our cousin. Thank you for your support financially, emotionally. And also, I will thank, my Medingawul community here in the state of Iowa for their generosity. When I come here, actually, they received me well. And, accommodation. Of course, I came here by myself without my family from the beginning. But actually, I have to appreciate that, their accommodation, especially Sazmali, then his roommate, Sazalik as well, Linglual, and others here who are really welcome me to the community. Thank you, Saz Andro, and thank you, to your wife, my sister also, my cousin Book, Bungang. She has been so nice, helping me out with a lot of stuff here. Thanks to Abuna Haile Selassie. It's been quite a, they've been helpful to me, transitioning here, to the state of Iowa. We will appreciate you guys right down there in Ames, Medingawul, second home. Thank you so much. Okay, now, with our episode today, my guest would be Dr. Sunday, Dijon. Emmanuel Sunday Dijon will be, my guest here. And there is so many things that we are going to talk about. As you can see there, the current affair of the South Sudan, political issues, and also Tumani, which is Tamanni, Tamanni Peace Initiative in Nairobi. We'll be addressing that issues also. And we'll be talking also about the proposal of extension of this, crook government in Juba, that actually they wanted to extend it. And as you all were aware of that, I made it clear, on my previous episode that actually government of President Salva Kiir is not interested in election whatsoever. It was just, a game playing like what he has done with National Dialogue, if you recall it very well, when he stood tall before the National Legislative Assembly and declared that National Dialogue will be the way forward. But when results, came out of National Dialogue, got them and he put them in the drawer because he was not interested in whatsoever to be, leaving the office. So President Kiir wanted to die in the power. That is the purpose. He wanted to die in the power. So the idea is that actually people were talking about, the election will take place, is ludicrous, because I knew it since day one there would be no election. And I said that, and I said that, I continue to say that. And now they are coming up with a proposal that actually they wanted to do another 24-month extension. So President Kiir, he does not believe in election. He believes in extensions. This is how he rolls. And this is how he has been since, he acquired the power in the Republic of South Sudan. So forget about the election. And that's required you and I and many South Sudanese also to act, because how are we going to live like this? How long are we going to live like this? How are we going to be quiet like this for these issues? So we will be addressing that issues. We talk about it also. And also, we'll be talking about the articles, Article 54 and 55, the national security. They amended that article, actually, the article that gave national security to arrest any South Sudanese without probable cause, right? And they have been arresting, actually, people of South Sudan, just simply for speaking up for the issue of human rights, for issues of corruption, injustice in the country. So now they went ahead. The key leaders parliament that we call in South Sudan, actually, they voted for it. I know they are not real, parliamentary members. If they are, they wouldn't even accept such a thing, to take place. So that's one of the things. And the most important thing also we are going to discuss, also on this program, I just wanted to give you a hint about the loan, the massive loan that actually the government of South Sudan is involved with HBK, based in Dubai. And I did conduct an episode on 29th of April, and I declared that actually we are going to file a lawsuit against the Republic of South Sudan. I did on the 29th of April, when the loan was published, right, on the Bloomberg in New York. Because people were saying that is a lie, it's not true, but actually this is true. They took, $13 billion for 20 years loan. And actually, they have been cheated. As former Minister of Finance, Barnaba Bak talked, and I played clips about this, and he said, yes, we secured loan, external loan, from HBK, which is the Hamad Khalifa bin Nahyan of Emirates, and that loan actually 20 years, and he talked about how this loan, this money will be paying services and salaries. I never heard something like that in the world. The certain government will go and borrow the money and come and pay loan and come and pay the salaries. What happened to the budget that actually supposed to be paying salaries, in the Republic of South Sudan? Not only that, actually they are not going to pay any salaries because this money they will be coming and will pocket this money. That's what I know so far. They will be pocketing this money. They will putting in their private bank account. And with that, I declare on the 29th of April that actually I'm going to file a lawsuit, and indeed we did on 24th of June, which is, a couple of weeks ago. Actually, we filed a lawsuit at the East Africa Court of Justice because there is no reason whatsoever people of South Sudan have to pay this loan, the loan that will not have any impact on their life, the loan that is not going to pay anything, the loan that is not going to be used to construct roads and hospitals and bridges and build schools, a loan that's not going to impact our people, just except President Kiir and his colleagues who are involved in this corruption for a very long time. So we filed this loan. As I said, I initiated, and actually along with other South Sudanese, and we filed it in the Court of Justice of East Africa. And the case is filed actually against the government of South Sudan, and we are seeking the following relief, with the declaration that loan procured by government of South Sudan is odious debt, whatsoever, neither binding nor payable by the citizen of South Sudan. We don't want to pay that loan because we are not responsible for that loan. This loan actually has illegally been taken. They borrowed money illegally. They did not talk even with these cheerleaders, National Legislative Assembly. Even the Speaker of the House, which is the Speaker of the National Legislative Assembly, she actually talked when she was asked by the journalist about this, and she said, "I have no idea what you're talking about." Even the Council of Ministers. So a few within the government, those who are circling J1 are the one that knows. So, and also a declaration that the government of South Sudan has violated principle of the rule of law, good governance, and human and people's right through a failure to observe its own constitution. They did not, because people of South Sudan, they have right for information. That's what Constitution of 2011 actually is indicated. We have right information. They have to be involved. If they are not interested in talking to the people, and then it has to be brought to the National Legislative Assembly because they are the one that presenting the people. And also Public Finance Management Act in South Sudan, other national laws, declaration that the act, or mission by the government of South Sudan is severely violated several rights, Article 6D, 7, 2, and 8, 1, and C of the East African, East Africa Treaty. Okay, Article 1, 2, 9, 13, and 21 of the African Charter Declaration that Act of Mission of South Sudan have violated principles of the general equity, and it's going on. We have a lot, because we have studied actually the East African community, acts and rules. So we have filed that. This is another way of fighting. It's not always, by gun is the only fight. We have to fight through court. We have to fight through talking, and we have to fight through court as well. And if it didn't work here in our region, because this is our region, we have to start here, and then we will take it further. Government of South Sudan is used to be quiet about the issues always, to let it go away, to let it die away, as they did with the case of Wollagog, and they did it also with case of Morris, and also they did with case of the former mayor of Juba. Always the East African community, East Africa Court of Justice will cement them. They would serve the government of South Sudan, and they will refuse, to show up at the court. But this time it is going to be different. This case is so unique, okay, and we will continue, to pressure this, and we'll continue to do this, because we cannot allow this corrupt government autocracy to continue, looting the wealth of the nation and killing the people. So These are the issues that actually I wanted to bring to you so you can be aware. We have filed the case that we talk about, that we are going to file it, and we have filed it. I initiated along with other South Sudanese actually supported it, and case has been filed. Now we are hearing to hear from the court, and the court, any update actually, I would be updating the public regarding this. This is other way of fighting this corrupt government. So we'll be waiting also for Dr. Sandy Dijon so we can talk about the current political affairs in South Sudan, and we'll be focusing on Nairobi to Mani, which is Tamani in Arabic, the peace initiative that is taking place in Nairobi, which is it has a lot of obstacles also because it was just tactic. Actually, it's not a peace. It is going to be like what happened in 2018 in Khartoum. When President Kiir felt that they were having economic hardship, there was no money, and then they released Dr. Riek Machar from confinement in Pretoria and brought him to Khartoum to come and sign a peace deal so they can resume the production of oil again, so they can have money. And actually they succeeded doing that. It was not meant actually to be implemented because they were not interested. President Kiir have said this numerous times, that actually what is my incentive, which is mean that he wanted to rule for life. He doesn't want to leave the power. And then also he said, when people of South Sudan fight, no one should ask him, you fight your own and then you have to run to Juba. And then when you come there, that's the time that you will step in to protect you. So people of South Sudan are supposed to be knowing this for a very long time, that actually the current leadership doesn't care about them. The current leadership is not interested in stability, is not interested in building a strong institution in the country. They are not. And that's why the country is failing, and it has failed for a very long time. It's just a matter of time for people actually to come out. Look what happened in our neighbor, Kenya. When the president initiated this, the taxes, doubling taxes, wanted to do from 8% to 16%. What happened now? The massive protests, and now they move further, asking that actually Ruto must step aside. Okay, but our people actually, they have been going through very, very hardship. But people of South Sudan are so patient, and they have been patient. And other things that are impacting our people, actually, a lot of people, they don't know their rights. And that's why we continue and do civic education. So people actually know their right always, and we could continue to be consistent in what we do. So again, these are the issues that, we'll be, continuing to talk about. And I know the Nairobi Peace Initiative, actually, you have heard, many are saying that it is inclusive, but I don't think so. It is inclusive because there are so many, including us too. We are an opposition, but we will be left out deliberately because, listen, don't tell me that Pagana Mom and Paul Malone, they are different than Salva Kiir. They are the same face of the coin, actually, because right now what they are doing, they are asking people, why don't you guys just held back and let us retire? And then after that, you guys can start talking and can start involving in the process of building nation. Can you imagine? Hello, is really seriously coming from people who are, wearing the national clothes and wearing national, clothes, but in reality, actually, their underwear is a tribal. And this is what I call, in last couple episodes, I did talk about how actually the chairman of real SPLM, Pagana Mom, actually, he's exercising what I call it, what I define it, tribal political calculation. They come here and they talk about how they want the initiative to be inclusive, but at the same time, they don't want to see our face, because they were asked, particularly Pagana Mom was asked, by mediators, not too long ago, when they were preparing to identify non-violent opposition. But he chose not to mention us, UCC and others, like NPM, those of Meding Maniel and Dr. Matur in Australia and others. He chose not to mention those deliberately because, as I said, tribal political calculation, that means there are those of Malong here and there are those of Sandy Dijon, South Progressive Movement, and there are those NPM. And then he calculated, these are the same people in the government there, which is, he came up with an idea of, of tribalizations, seeing that Kir is a Dinka and those, why should we involve those? Because He's thinking about the power. He's thinking about the positions, but we are not thinking about the position. And when you think about the position, that's what happened. Because now, if we bring these guys along with us to go to the peace initiative, if time come to divide the cake, and then these guys actually they're likely to take chunk, which is, in his opinion, the way he's thinking it, they are the same face of the coin with Salva Kiir, but in reality we are not. Actually, we are closer to him ideologically, because we believe in unity ideas, not unity of tribe, not unity in blood. And this is what our brothers they don't understand for a very long time. So that's why you see there is a lot of obstacles, with the Tumani peace initiative in Nairobi, which is, I don't see actually there will be no result. Actually, we have been criticized, we have been categorized as activists, not political movement. But who can deny what we have done here so far for the last 8 years here talking here? Who can deny our work? So is it because we are not carrying the guns? Well, Pagana Mom too is not carrying the gun. The only thing that I can see about him and Paul Malone is just because being in the SPLA, liberation struggle. And actually that's the line that they are moving in right now, because they want just to reunify with the SPLM IG, which is in Juba. And that's why they are rushing and they want to leave everybody. And that's why they are not interested, in inclusivity. I was quite shocked, when many people are asking about the UCC and NPM and others, political movement who are, who have not been involved. And they keep lying that, oh, I did talk. Particularly Pagan lie, actually, he talked to me, and he did not talk to me, actually. This is really sad. I'm not complaining, but I'm trying, to tell the public, the truth, because this is not good. If they are not interested in drastic fundamental change for this country, how this country is going to progress? Yeah, they need to quit, wearing the national clothes, nationalism clothes, and at the same time they are wearing, they still have underwear, of tribal, and this is what I do see. So, Dr. Emmanuel Sunday Dijon will come here and we will explain too what's happening, so people can understand actually, He's supposed to be part of this, but he has been kicked out simply because Said Malongawan doesn't want him because he was part of him. And now you've seen him there, coming there, is part of this. I don't know why. Is it because the seating? Is it because the same hotel? Is it because the venue that doesn't want to see Sunday Dijon to be part of this? It's really ridiculous, This country has a way to go. Those who are pretending actually they want to bring change, in reality they are not. They're just thinking about themselves. And people of South Sudan should learn this and should know this. It's very hard and it's very difficult, to trust anyone at this juncture. So, Dr. Sunday Dijon, because we are waiting for you, I'm going to play a little bit song and then we'll continue. We have more to talk today. We need to be open, and we need to be, open. Enough is enough. We need to be open and tell the public the truth about what's going on in Nairobi. Okay. So let me go ahead and play that, and then we will come.
You nas to go one go or a chicken kulu. I jing to go kellu. You go chenye Indian. Okay, Indian, ye kawaii, ye so balang so ya. Let's boot and yo we know. And ya like fire nor temelinja. You has to go and go to a chicken. Kulu kulu I can go. Hello. Gọi nhau chơi liếc bang bang gọi như nào gọi như nào ra chứ nhớ gọi nhớ đến nhầm ngân lịch cái tôi mũi con nó về trong ngang nó về trong mà ra nhà chung biết buổi chiều mũi con nó về trong ngang nó về trong mà ra nhà chung biết lát gió mũi con nó về trong ngang nó về trong mà ra nhà chung biết đến chiều mũi con nó về trong ngang nó về trong mà ra nhà chung Miss Gawar, muy con ve, changal ve, chanmare nyaju. Miss Fanga Kizira, muy con ve, changal ve, chanmare nyaju. Anwar Gawan, Magura, Yamaga, when Yanara, Yamadunga, Kaji, Edbore, Yawa, and Ya Lake Paya, North Yamalinja. You has to go and go to a chicken pulu. I jung to go, hello. You go, Jenny Indian. Okay, Indian, ye kawaii, ye so, Malang is on ya. Let's go and yo, we know. And ya like Paya, North Yamalinja. You has to go and go to a chicken pulu. I jung to go, hello. Can you panda? Here you go, and you not there, you let your to come you. And welcome one, Muga, Yamaga, when you're not a Yamaga, Kaji, let go in your way. And ya late by North Yamalinja. You has to go and go to a chicken pulu. I jung to go, hello. You go, Jenny Indian. Okay, Indian, ye kawaii, ye so, Malang is up ya. Let's go in your way, North. And ya late Pina, North Yamalinja. You has to go and go to a chicken pulu. I jung to go, hello. Nhớ quay nhớ đến nhầm ngân lịch cái tôi mũi con về trong gang về trong mà ra nhà chung biết buổi chiều mũi con về trong gang về trong mà ra nhà chung biết lát gió mũi con về trong gang về trong mà ra nhà chung biết đến chiều mũi con về trong gang về trong mà ra nhà chung biết Gawar mũi con về trong gang về trong mà ra nhà chung Miss Fanga Kizira, muy con be, cham, mare nyaju. And welcome one, Magura, Yamaga, when Yanara, Yamaga, Kaji, Edbore, Yawa, and ya late by North Yamalinja. You has to go and go to a chicken pulu. I jung to go, hello. You go, Jenny Indian. Okay, Indian. You go, Balang Javabian, and you go, and you been tell. You go, can you loan? You go, can you go? You go, can you panda? You go, and you not there, you let your to come alone. And welcome one, Magura, Yamaga, when you're not a Yamaga, Kaji, let go in your way. And ya late by North Yamalinja. You has to go and go to a chicken pulu. I jung to go, hello. Hello, it go Chenye Indian. Okay, ye Indian, ye Kawaii, ye so Palang is up ya. Like Boor and yo in one. And ya like Paya nor Temelinja. You nice to go one go to a chicken. Pulu, I can go. Hello. Junior guy, near the young and like a gun, we call the bait, young girl, the bait, young war, and you look. Miss Burchard, we call the bait, young girl, the bait, young war, and you look. Miss Ladjor, we call the bait, young girl, the bait, young war, and you look. Miss Ginchow, we call the bait, young girl, the bait, young war, and you look. Miss Gawar, we call the bait, young girl, the bait, young war, and you look. If I'm got Gizra, we call the bait, Jangal, the bait, Jamar, and Yajinubi. And work on Magura Muga, Yamaga, when Yanara, Yamaga, the Edbore, Yahweh, and Ya late by North Yamalinja. You nice to go one go or a chicken Pulu, I can go, Hello, you go, Jenny Indian. Okay, Indian, ye Kawaii, ye so Alan is up ya. Like Boor and yo in one, and ya like Paya North Temelinja. You nice to go one go or a chicken Pulu, I can go, Hello. Can you panda? Here you go, and ye not ye let your chicken yellow. And welcome on Magura Muga, when you're not a Yamaga, like Boore, and ya like Paya, North Yamalinja. You nice to go one go or a chicken Pulu, I can go, Hello. Here go Chenye Indian. Okay, Indian, ye Kawaii, ye so Palang is up ya. Like Boor and yo in one. And ya like Paya, North Yamalinja. You nice to go one go or a chicken Pulu, I can go, Hello. Junior guy, near the young and like a gun, we call the bait, young war, and you look. Miss Burchard, we call the bait, young war, and you look. Miss Ladjor, we call the bait, young war, and you look. Miss Ginchow, we call the bait, young war, and you look. Miss Gawar, we call the bait, young war, and you look. If I'm got Gizra, we call the bait. You're going Balang Jababian and you go, and you been tell. Here go, can you loan? Here go, can you go? Here go, can you panda? Here you go, and you're not there, you let your chicken yellow. And welcome on Magura Yamaga, when you're not a Yamaga, like Boore and yo, and ya like Paya, North Yamalinja. You nice to go one go or a chicken Pulu, I can go, Hello. Here go Chenye Indian. Okay, Indian, ye Kawaii, ye so Palang is up ya. Like Boor and yo in one. enya alej panya nor temlinja. You has to go one go to a chicken, kulu I can go, tell you. Goyal chaliak bang, goynye nara junior goy, nyerdin yam and lake dun, we call the becham gal the becham wara yajunu, with burchar, we call the becham gal the becham wara yajunu, with that jor, we call the becham gal the becham wara yajunu, with Ginchow, we call the becham gal the becham wara yajunu. Miss Gawar, we call the becham gal the becham wara yajunu. Miss Vanga Gizra, we call the becham gal the becham wara yajunu. And Wargawan, Magura Muga, Yamaga, when Yanara Yamaga, Lake Bore, Yaway, and Yalay Paya, Nortemelinja. You has to go and go to a chicken, Pulu, I can go, hello. You go, Jenny Indian, okay, Indian, ye Kawaii, ye so, Malang, so, yeah, like Bore, no, we know, and ya like Paya, Nortemelinja. You has to go and go to a chicken, Pulu, I can go, hello. Can you panda? Here you go and you not you let your to can you. And Wargawan, Magura, Yamaga, when you're not a Yamaga, like Bore, Yawi, and ya like Paya, Nortemelinja. You has to go and go to a chicken, Kulu, I can go, hello. Here go, Jenny Indian, okay, Indian, ye Kawaii, so, Malang, so, yeah, like Bore, and ya like Paya, Nortemelinja. You has to go and go to a chicken, Kulu, I can go, hello. Junior Goy, Yerdin Yam and Lake Dun, we call the Becham Gal the Becham Mara Yajunu, Miss Burchar, we call the Becham Gal the Becham Mara Yajunu, Miss Ladjor, we call the Becham Gal the Becham Mara Yajunu, Miss Ginchow, we call the Becham Mara Yajunu,
using the
Miss
system,
Gawar, we call the Becham Gal the Becham Mara Yajunu.
I'm not on my usual so if it didn't work with this, we may use the voice. We may call on the phone. We wanted to give it
You has to go and go to a chicken, Kulu, I can go, hello. Here go, Jenny Indian, okay, Indian, ye Kawaii, so, Malang, so, yeah, like Bore, no, we know, and ya like Paya, Nortemelinja. You has to go and go to a chicken, Kulu, I can go, hello. Oh, can you go? Here you go, can you panda? Here you go, and you're not there, you let your chicken yellow. And Wargawan, Magura, Yamaga, when you're not a Yamaga, bore nyawi enya lay faya nor temlinja you nas to go one go or jiktin kulu ay jeng de go kellu ira go chenye indian okay nye indian nye kawai nye zup bala izopia lay bore nyawi nor enya lay faya nor temlinja you nas to go one go or jiktin kulu ay jeng de go kellu Jalyak bang goy ni nara junior goy nyer de nyam ngan lek dun uy kon be changal be chamara nya julu mis burcha uy kon be changal be chamara nya julu mis la jor uy kon be changal be chamara nya julu mis gen tiaw uy kon be changal be chamara nya julu mis gawar muy kolbe changar nyaaju mis fanga kisira muy kolbe changar nyaaju anwar gamwan mugur mugwa kwen yanwar nyamga kajijeng ay bore nyawi enya lay faya nwar temlinja you nas to go one go or jiktin kulu ay jeng de go kellu ira go chenye indian okay nye indian nye kawai nye zup bala izopia lay bure nyawi no enya lay faya no temlinja you nas to go one go or jiktin kulu ay jeng de go kellu
All right, we are back. It seemed like we have technicalities, getting Dr. Emmanuel Sunday Dijon, to the studio, but that's fine. As I said from the beginning, that's I'm not in my, usual studio, but now we got him on the phone. Anyway, it will work. We got him on the phone, and then we'll continue, the program through the phone until then. So, Dr. Sunday Dijon, if you hear me, thank you so much, for joining us on Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. I want to give you that opportunity to greet our audience, and then we'll proceed, with our discussion. Discussion today is current political affairs, and our focus is on Nairobi Tumani initiative. So I want to give you that opportunity to greet people, and then you wanted to give us an update what is happening actually with the South Sudan initiative in Nairobi, South Sudan Peace Initiative in Nairobi.
Thank you very much, Brother Jonkor. I would like to extend my warm greetings to all the South Sudanese audience and also our friends from other countries that are happy with the concerned citizens of South Sudan that watch here all the times when it is on. Greetings to you all, everybody, wherever you are. I am Dr. Sunday Dijon in Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you very much on that note. On the issues that are happening in Nairobi, all the South Sudanese are aware that there was correspondence between President Salva Kiir Mayardit and President William Samoei Ruto in December a year ago. And then this was extended to February 2024, where the President of Kenya responded to the call by President Salva Kiir Mayardit to transfer the then Rome initiative to Nairobi. simply because of the other hurdles that were not making it work. That one was material. And when it came to May, the process was started under the chieftaincy of Lieutenant General Lazarus Sumboyo, who initially was the one who negotiated for the comprehensive peace agreement as a special envoy of IGAD. He is somebody that was teamed up with others to work also to bring peace to the Republic of South Sudan, which started with the opposition groups being invited. And the groups that were invited are the SAP under General Malong and Real SPLM under Honorable Pagana Mom. And then us joined 5 groups under the umbrella called SUNA, that is the SSPM of General Stephen Boy, the SSUFP, that is under me, the UDRM, and Dr. Matur Gorjo, and Major General Peter Chwal Kalwak. These were the parties under SUNA, and also there was NAS, RCC, and yes, those were the political forces that were present on the table. And then others were the PCCA that was having a status that is not political and also not a civil society. And there was also a group that were referred to as the stakeholders, made up of different groups from the eminent personalities coming to the church leaders and the civil society itself and women bloc. All were onboarded so that the process could start. The process started immediately at the kickoff time after the launching in the State House by the presidents, both of Kenya and South Sudan, plus some of the guests that they were inviting to come and attend the process. The process after kicking off was well started with plenary sessions that were mainly for the presentation of the issues. And that was the time the 4 agenda items were presented adequately. The 4 agenda items are the justice issues, the issues of security sector reforms, the issues pertaining governance and politics, the issues pertaining economics, in that order, were presented separately. And after the presentation, the mediators, through their secretariat, were able to sit down to sieve out all the vital information that were contributed by different stakeholders, and they developed a 73-page document. And after the development of this 73-page document, the process seems to have gone through different mechanisms where first General Stephen, jointly with Pagan and Malung, decided through their closed-door meetings to mitigate others from the peace process. They started now with my party coming to the other 2 parties, UDRM, and also there is a party I did not mention, I forgot, it's called PRM, Kitgwang, under the chairmanship of General Laraka Machar Turon. He is also one of those parties that took part. Eventually, there was this back and forth kind of it. And the groups, namely Malung, Pagan, and Boy, said that the process was meant for them. It should not have encompasses all the other South Sudanese opposition groups. That became a tussle over a long period of time, notwithstanding that is undergoing a lot of scrutiny from different South Sudanese and also the international community. That is not the talk of the day, because it's a conflict that we have seen in the media, that we all are trying to push each other back and forth. And we are trying also to bring it to the attention of the principal, because the idea that it belongs to Malung, Pagan, and Boy came after the consultation with their counterparts from Juba, not necessarily the entire government delegation, but a few of the people that are involved in the process of taking home their friends, because they have taken long in the foreign country, they call it merely an exile and not a struggle in that matter. So what happened is the mediators opted now to let the process be handled behind the closed doors between the government of South Sudan and those of Malong. When they were talking behind closed doors, that is the time they dropped the agreement that majority of the South Sudanese have seen, the ones they call the consensus, which attracted reactions from people in the country like Dr. Riak Machar, who was writing to the mediators in response to the agreement that they have seen. But the structure of the agreement was on the items that I have mentioned, but the groups opted to keep secret the power sharing aspect of it. But unfortunately, there was no breakthrough up to now, and the process has been down for the last 3 or 4 weeks. No, three or 2 weeks without progress being made. And eventually, the government delegation selected from itself a number of members. I think 2 from the government side, on the side of the Kir. You know, it is interim government. So they are all from the government, but they are divided into parties. There are those that are representing the SPLM-IO. They were 3 in number: Honorable Stephen Parr, Honorable Martin Abuja, and Honorable Peter Marcelo. I think jointly, Peter Marcelo, Michael Makwe, Mathum, and Dr. Kolpol, plus Martin, who represents the OPP, Martin Taku, and Chang Sun Chang, who represent the SOA, have gone to Juba for further consultations. So the process is there, but it has not produced anything satisfactory, although it was started in a manner that was very orderly, manner that was perceived to be productive. But given the opportunity to those of Malong, they ended up straining it because they have the ulterior motives of thinking negatively that other South Sudanese should not take part. It was solely meant by their friends to be for them and not all the other stakeholders. And that is the basis why we call the attention of the President of the Republic of South Sudan to actually revisit this process, because when he was speaking, the matter was for all. But eventually, these political leaders opted to own it, and they even threatened the mediators that should any other South Sudanese group be involved in the process without us agreeing to their presence, then we are going to be given tickets and leave the peace forum.
Wow.
Those are the utterances they have made. We have exhaustively consulted with a number of stakeholders that are involved, but we still have to call for the inclusivity, because this idea that General Stephen Bai is weighty, he has a weight because he is aligning with the RSF, and so is a threat to the South Sudanese, is the reason why he is kept there. Then is a seasoned politician, is the reason he is to be kept there. The same thing with Malong, is the former chief of the army, is the reason he would be kept there. But all in all, we have chosen to be non-violence, not because we cannot be violent, but violence has trained our country for a very long period.
Correct.
So if we choose not to be violent, we are not supposed to be educated that choose violence so you could be accepted as a good South Sudanese. Those are the factors that are happening currently. And because I'm not seeing your face and the faces of the audience, I do not know whether I am communicating effectively. But this is what is happening in Nairobi currently. There is no any new progress made except the 73 document that was later on summarized into 17 page document that was taken to Juba, and that was attracting reaction, and that was later on brought back and talked about, and now they are back to Juba again. Whatever that will come with them, we will know in the course of the coming week.
Dr. Sunday, thank you so much. Thank you. And the real, communication to be communicated to the people of South Sudan. Dr. Sunday, I
Yes.
wonder why the chairman of Real SPLM, Mr. Pagana Mum, who I call is wearing, is wearing the dress of nationalism, but his underwear is the tribal. Let me say it clearly to the people of South Sudan. Clearly. I wonder why it was asked like three times about inclusivity. And he keep referring that we want the process to be inclusive. Even though when he was giving an opportunity on the statement, opening his statement of initiative, he talked about how we just don't want another agreement. What we need is a dialogue, how this country can be going to the next level. And actually, it was sending a hope. But in reality, as they said, it is a wolf on goat closing. This is what I do see. So now he has been asked several times that you talk about the inclusivity. Why others, non-violence, are not part of it? Particularly, he was asked about us, the UCC. And he avoided the question. It was on the show of Edward Ashek, and he avoided to answer that question. Again, it was asked the second time by Suleiman Dandara, the same person who keeps asking that question. And again, he avoided it to answer that question. And by the way, let me finish the question.
Yes.
And by the way, the political movement of Dr. Moktour and Meding Maniel, actually they came on the window. They were not invited directly. That's what I know so far. Okay. So now my question, why are they not answering the question? Why Pagan is not answering the question clearly that actually we are not interested on other non-violent oppositions to be part of it, because this actually invitation was directed to us, the whole our group. And with that, people of South Sudan can know actually, instead of lying to the people of South Sudan, that actually we need to be inclusive and we are calling for inclusivity and all political movement must be part of this. Why are they doing this? That's the question you will be answering, on the part of Pagana Mom. I know General Paul Malone, you either be part of him to be part of him, or otherwise he doesn't want to, because I know that Malone actually doesn't want young leaders in the country. They want to just join the Kumbaya game bandwagon. They want to go back, because Malone keep repeating saying that he has no problem with Salva Kiir. His problem is with Akol Kor always, and I wonder, Kiir is the boss, Akol Kor is under Kiir, and if you have a problem with Akol Kor, and then Kiir would have talked to Akol Kor, hey, stop it, because this is part of you, and it's part of me too. But Malong, actually, I know long time ago that he need people to be in his camp. He doesn't want to see others, rising up as leaders. He doesn't want that. I can see that. I can study the man. But why Pagan would lie to people, and why it's not making clear that actually this invitation was just for them, particularly when he was asked question to identify the non-violent opposition, and he refused actually to identify them. What is the definition of political movement or an opposition? I want to know that. I want to give you an opportunity, Dr. Sunday, to explain to our people, because we need this real talk, because people are lying. Those leaders, so-called leaders, historic leaders, are lying to the people of South Sudan. They don't want to see ideas, emerge. They don't want to see young South Sudanese actually on the scene there. They don't want to give them that stage. And this is what I see they are struggling with. Sunday, go ahead.
Yes. Thank you very much, John Cole, for the opportunity. I wish I could be there to see the faces of our people, but there is no problem. Let me talk. First of all, the process that is called the Tumaini in Kiswahili means hope, is only a misplaced terminology. The process itself does not belong to South Sudanese as a whole. Mm-hmm. It belongs to Malung, Pagan, and Boy, and those that subscribes to them. It is their hope. Because I have proof to put across, and nobody who is honest will deny what I'm saying. First of all, I have sat down with all the stakeholders in the Tumaini, the heads of all the stakeholders in the Tumaini, from the political to the civil society to the PCCA to the mediators, except General Malong. I cannot lie that we have sat down to talk with him, but I have sat down on his behalf with Lualdau. the process has been earmarked for the three. So it is not for South Sudanese. And I have to confirm it from the mediators. And it was reiterated by somebody who is the deputy chief mediator. He is called Mohammed Guyu. It's called Mohammed Ali Guyu. Is the deputy chief mediator, co-chair, and is an important person in the process by itself. So this process was made intentionally by their friends to advance the agenda that we do not know, that we will know as South Sudanese. Number two, the process, because it belongs to them, you do not expect the inclusivity aspect to be answered by Pagan, because I have sat down with him and I have also been there until this thing called Declaration of Commitment to a Maini initiative was signed. The declaration itself has called for inclusivity. On paragraph 7, it has mentioned that all those parties that have not joined have been called to join and take part actively in the process. But that one has long been dishonored by asking others to leave the forum, even with a letter of termination being issued to two different parties, the UDRM and the Nilotia People's Movement. They were given letters of termination in violation of the Tumaini's commitment, declaration of commitment. So all this is a rubber stamp. It is a coup process by some sections of Juba to actually come and take in the oppositions of their choice, not necessarily the South Sudanese opposition, so they can usher in the peace in the country. So if you are expecting to be answered by Pagan that inclusivity is defined this way or that way, then you have a misplaced understanding of the matters. Number two, they don't want to respond because they will attract negative voices. If they come out honestly, they will attract the negative voices. And number three, we know these people already. They have been leaders in the country. They were the ones who instigated the conflict. They fought adequately. And now, because they are tired in the exile where they have been for the last 5-6 years, they are trying to cook anything. And these non-violent groups will later on prolong the process. For example, the main accusation on the PCCA is because the matter becomes long when PCCA is asking that we need a constitutional mechanism. We need this and this. Actually, the concrete ideas are what they don't want on the table. What they want on the table is possibly if there was that angel that can help them secure a post of prime minister, post of vice president, and other small governor of Upper Nile. Governor of Upper Nile, governor of Central Equatoria, and the governorship of Unity State. Then they are good to go. As even tonight, if that was to be agreed, this is what they are after. To make it in a summary form, these people are after the positions, and anybody that would come on the table to contribute idea or ask for concrete discussions, they would not be very happy with such a person to be on the table. And therefore, that is the reason why they are chasing us away. Malong, as we have mentioned, has mentioned it many times, like you have heard, that he has a personal issue with others like General Akolkor and others, and not President Salva Kiir is real in that sense that he will earmark you tomorrow, Jonkor, because you have mentioned name Akolkor. He will say you are an agent of Akolkor. But they have been going on retreats here in Nairobi with Gregory. And Gregory is a deputy chief of national security. They move together, they eat together, and he is not a spy. You who is in the US and talking that this one is unjust, you are a spy. This is exactly the situation that they have created. But we will not be earmarked We will not be branded. We will not be labeled. We will always be truthful. The matters of South Sudan are not beyond us. We are not too young to participate in them. We have participated adequately in the liberation struggle through our parents and directly through us as the Red Army, and we are going to participate in the affairs of South Sudan at all times as long as we exist. So this process is a corrupt one. It has no fillers. And that is why we were telling the international community not to waste the resources on 3 people, because South Sudanese still need them. The resources should not be wasted on these 3 because they are actually out to find themselves in the government once again with very bad plans. And I have mentioned a few of their plans in my letter of today. I have written an open letter to the president. Thank you very much. I have prolonged my talk.
No, this discussion need to, to go through. Thank you, Dr. Sunday Dijon. I wonder if that's the case, and this is what we are seeing now, and that's why I say from the beginning, these people, they are wearing clothes of national, but their underwears are tribal. Actually, their clothes within, actually, they are looking for an opportunity. That's what I do see. They don't want.
Yes.
They don't want.
Not to cut your point. I can confirm that these people have joined the peace forum with only the tribal members. Pagana Mom is there with Chiluk, except 2, Chirino Item and Kostima Nive. The rest are from his group.
Yes.
And I am not ready to talk ill of General Weah. General Weah is a statesman. He's a person that South Sudanese should all work to ensure he is taken care of in a manner that pleases him, because he's a good liberator. He fought adequately, and up to today, he still have a very clean heart. He does not have bad words for South Sudanese, and he is not fraudulent. He does not masquerade. He does not operate in a manner that those other ones are doing. Is a statement that must be respected. And I am sorry to mention that Pagan is there with Chiluk. I see only the nationalism being in real SPLM at the pace of General Weah. Second to this, these people like Malonga one, you see the negotiators on his sides are all sons of Dinka. Okay?
Correct.
His deputy being Nuer is just a rubber stamp. He does not contribute anything. Even a female representative is not there. It is Lualdao and the others. I have respect for those other ones. I don't need to mention their names. And even Lual, I have respect for him. But the truth remains, it is home, not anywhere else but a will that is on that table. I have no problem with people of a will to be on the table, but I have problem with the issues of South Sudanese being discussed by all. The same thing with Stephen Boy Rolnyang. He comes from his unity state, and his people are basically those homeboys that are not others. All these are the people that could have been asked by the mediators to define what South Sudan is in terms of their organizations. They are just tribal people who want to package themselves through this Matem Gregory Joint Forum to take them to Juba.
Yes.
But it must not happen in the expense of South Sudanese.
Dr. Sunday, you don't have to feel sorry. As I said, the wolf and the goat close. That's what we can see exactly. They come out here, they talk about the national, how we need national, how we need this change, how we need everything to be inclusive. But in reality, that is not. What you said about Pagan is true. I'm here in the US.
There is nothing national about Pagan. I have sat down with him.
I discovered
the last time.
I discovered it, But
the last time, yes. Let me just finish this. The last time I sat down with him for 1 hour and some minutes talking. I asked him that, Gerald Pagan, why don't you people want others to participate in this forum?
Mm-hmm.
And he said it was meant for them. He told me even the story on how Riek Machar was kept away from the agreements when they applied to join the Abujas and all those other ones. And he ended up telling me that he is not in hatred with me. Yes, we have reconciled with him. But the problem is defending the alliance. And I told him that the alliance is made up of three of you, Malong, Pagan, and Boy. These are the three. Don't you think you need others beyond this alliance? As far as your ambition is concerned, as far as your core principles of being a liberator is concerned. And I told him, Honorable Pagan, people come to you not because you are a head of real SPLM.
No.
But we assume that you are a statesman, a leader that encompasses all. And we did not know that you will operate in a small way. Think about this, sit down with the rest, make the process wide enough. I made a number of proposals, but they concurrently disagree in a manner that is not even honest. They will put you here and there. You will have to go and sit down. All those negative discussions. All in all, they even charge you on things that are not real. For example, others would say that you have taken a wife of somebody. That was a case that was brought against me. And I do not know whose wife. Later on, it was confirmed it is Malong's wife. And in the history of South Sudan, there is nothing like that. So these people are too trivial. I am convinced that I made a mistake being with them in the opposition because they don't have anything, iota of leadership in them. They may end up killing us, which I am not afraid of, because when I left my home early in the late 80s, I was interested in ensuring that our country comes to the limelight as a nation of people, not a nation of people who hate each other. And that is the agenda we will not deviate from as young people. Nationalism in these people, even if you were to give them your mother, they will not look at you with respect. Thank you.
I see that. And actually, to move on, to the next, you're right, about Pagan and Malong. And I can attest to that. The General Secretary of the real SPLM, okay? The guy that very capable. He kept away. He's here in Kansas City. This is he is not allowed to go in a peace negotiation, but he has to bring his homeboys, as you said. That's what it is. And lately, I came to realize the real Pagan he is, because back then, actually, I was inspired by his statement when he said, "Lo nazal matar bidam wala binnar," referendum will going to take place. And I was actually inspired by the guy, but I discovered actually he is not interested to empower the young people, to empower the young from different region of South Sudan. But from the beginning, I was fooled. Actually, he is a nationalist. But I discovered
he even told me
not
that
actually.
He even told me that they are going to retire soon. Why can't we just wait? And I laughed. I did not respond to that because now I am 40 years. I will turn 41 in the next few months. And I am being told to wait so that certain people can go to retirement. But my question has always been, how do you expect us to learn by being kept away? Another question is, when you were working with Dr. John Garang, how old were you?
Yes.
Were you in 70s?
Good question.
All these people are trying to think that we are less important in this process than themselves. It is just a mere greed in summary. These people are greedy with power and material wealth, nothing more. But anything that you want too much, you don't get it, because God in heaven looks at people. And if you are dishonest, you don't get what you want. With this Tumaini, if they were going to achieve anything, it will be very minimal, because they have actually squandered the opportunity by turning the process of the nation into their own. And now it will be their own. And if it is their own, it will become small. It will not be big. Okay? If Tumaini fails, it will be them that have failed it by disallowing all South Sudanese to participate. They have reflected affairs of selfish individuals and not nationalists. There is nothing national about them. Even when they were in the liberation struggle, where were we? We were there. So they are not supposed to use that one as the basis of their argument. They are not staging anything. They are not staging anything in reliance on lies. They are not staging anything. They rely on only tactics that are not going to help South Sudan. South Sudan is supposed to benefit. Actually, when we were to talk about the constitution, without going to all the other things, constitution as a law will be able to suppress the insecurity, to create the reforms in all sectors, economic, security, and other sectors like justice, and all the sectors in the country. If we have a viable constitution, if they were leaders with commitment, that is where they would have put their weight. And it has been covered in the RCs. Now, the whole talk has scaled down to plagiarism of the RCs because there is no new idea that they are generating. Okay? It is the RCs that is being renegotiated indirectly. And Riek Machar has been justified by trying to defend the RCs because it is at the phase of implementation. I thought these leaders were not going to look for positions. They were going to say that the RCs is not implementable. Let us select things that are not being implemented and we see why they are not being implemented. And we can be able to make other resolutions that will lead to their implementation effectively. Just that one, we would be a good country. But these people are completely fighting over the positions. They are targeting people that are inside the country, including the president himself.
Yes.
They have bad words to say. They have bad words to say even to Ismail Wise. But I cannot say it now until Ismail Wise wanted to hear from me directly. And maybe if we want a court case, I can be able to be his witness. So these people have no good intention for the country. Their intention is to get themselves back to the leadership and destroy the country further. Was it not them that created the war that has completely destroyed the country?
Yes.
If you see Kir being blamed, Kir is always being blamed because he's an umbrella, is the head. But these people that were with him are difficult to deal with. They can easily destroy the country in your watch. And that is why they are destroying the Tumaini process in our watch.
Yep. Well, Dr. Sunday, I do see that. And you have spoken, clearly. The true leaders that I know, the true leaders are the ones that actually they train the younger generation to become leader. Because Pagana Mum is not going to be there forever. Salva Kiir is not going to be there forever. They need to understand that if you are a leader, and then there is a need for others to be trained so they can get there. There is a need for a younger generation to be there. But in the idea that you want to die with the country, the idea that I am a liberator, the idea that I have been there and then I should be taking a chance always, I should be first, and this guy, they can wait into Nazmunu, who are you, and all these things. That's not going to help the country. The fact is, like what you said, what we were looking for and what I am looking for in UCC is a constitution conference, because South Sudan has a constitutional crisis. Look, Kenya has gone through this before. Kenya has a constitution crisis. But soon they adopted the new constitution that actually guarantee fundamental right of the citizen, and then they did not have any problem anymore. The same thing with Cote d'Ivoire, the same thing with Ghana. That actually what I was interested, because these people, for the course of them being in opposition for a very long time, they've been talking of how we need our country to go to the next level, how we need to sit down to diagnose our issue, how we can define our crisis in the country. This is what Pagani has been saying, that actually we need the issue to be addressed from the root cause. I was not expecting that actually he's just interested for his own position to go there and become a prime minister or to become something, and again, get the money and get whatever they need. This is not what I was expecting. I'm so saddened and I'm so sorry, Dr. Sunday Dijon, because they don't want us, because as you said from the beginning, they don't want ideas to be put on the table, because these ideas, when ideas debated, it will prolong, them staying outside, because Malong actually wanted to go in, Pagan wanted to go in. They see themselves, they are in 60s, late 60s or 70s, and then they feel like, they are wasting time and they wanted to go in. But they shouldn't be lying to people of South Sudan for a very long time. They should not even be lying, saying that, well, actually, we care about the country and this is what we wanted to do. We need inclusivity. We need the root causes to be addressed. How many times the word root causes Pagana is spoken? How many times? Many, many, many times have said that. And now you refuse the inclusivity. And now you're refusing people actually who have an ideas, young who have an ideas, to be part of that, so we can have a real debate. That means that actually they started Ko to continue. They want Kir to continue. They just wanted to go in and go and dance kumbaya. That's what it happened. People of South Sudan need to understand this. These are corrupt, and they will have no way of fixing this country. The only way is to get rid of them. That's the only way, because this is what I do see. Now, I have another question. Riek Machar have wrote a letter. Have wrote a letter, actually, he doesn't want this RCs, to be abolished or something like that, because he have seen the Tumaini, taking place, and he's complaining about Tumaini. Is Riek Machar happy to be in confinement in Juba? Is he happy this peace has not been implemented and he just wanted to be there? Is that what he wanted to do? Is that South Sudan that he needed? What's going on, Dr. Sandy John? It looked like there is no good faith in these people at all. There is no good faith whatsoever. These people are just interested of remaining in power and in staying there, and they are seeing this country is going downhill and they don't care. So why Riek Machar has to write that letter complaining? What is it? I want to give you a chance also to, to go ahead.
Well, Riek Machar raised a complaint simply because, one, he has seen the arches being renegotiated through the Tumaini. And these are two independent agreements. Even when we were in Rome, the talks were to be outside arches, because the groups that are here, basically Pagan, not Malong, is called a holdout group, because they held out from the 2018 agreement, the arches, on what they call the root causes. And then now they're supposed to do it outside the arches, because what they were saying, the basis of rejecting the arches was that. But Riek Machar, from the angle of law, is justified by his letter. But we know the political aspect of it. The arches not being implemented, maybe because it is Riek Machar, maybe because it is too expensive, and also given the voices of the international community, they said they could not fund the arches because the person put in charge of money is Tutkau, and they don't think is a credible person to handle such a big issue of the country. All those are the things that come together. But Riek is justified in the sense that you don't create new agreement to destroy the existing one, and this new one does not have a transparent view where you can perceive that it would be a good replacement. What if it will create a situation that even will be worse than the situation of the arches now? What I see Riek Machar is doing is trying to protect the devil he knows than the angel he doesn't know. I think that is his point in that aspect. And it could be justified because we do not know the outcome of Tumaini as a consequence. Another one is that the Tumaini initiative itself is by three people. From a political perspective and military perspective, you don't create insecurity when a relative calm has come. Those that have signed the RCs can disturb the country, and we have known how Riek Machar was operating and others were operating, like the Abdelbagi IE group militarily. Now there is no military confrontation. Even if there are sporadic problems here, a relative calm has been produced by that agreement. And Riek has to punish Kir by saying that agreement has not been implemented. And that is the basis of rejecting the elections. And that is the basis until it is implemented. But basically, there is no something bigger in his defense for the arches, because he himself is not gaining. But do not forget, all the leaders in South Sudan currently are more interested in resources than the growth of the country. Okay? But the Almighty God has opted even to punish us all by now trying to allow the circumstances in Sudan to prevent the flow of oil. Anybody who wants the resources is not going to get it anyway, because it is not there. unless the circumstances could change suddenly. The international community has known that we are in a status quo and there is no progress. And if there is no progress, you cannot fund the status quo. They decided also to withhold their money, which I also want them to do now with the Tumaini, to keep their money, because you don't put your resources where the product will be gloomy or something of that kind, something that will not be very good.
Yeah.
So while Riek Machar is troubled by the lack of implementation of RCs and the associated restrictions, including lack of mobility on his side, he sees that one as a devil that he knows than the angel that will come from the Tumaini that he doesn't know. Number two, the principals at Tumaini currently are Malong and Pagan, and you know very well their workings with Riek Machar those days. For example, when Riek Machar ran from Juba,
yes,
and he's somewhere in South Sudan, when he reached Ethiopia, his call number one was to release the FDs. And the FDs then were under Pagan. So Pagan was released because of the pressure that Riek Machar gave. But when he came out, he became a different face. Correct. This time, Riek Machar knows that these are betrayers. You know very well he was also chased by General Malong. Although General Malong was doing his job as chief of the army, he chased him to Congo, and he still have the pain of these people. Now the Tumaini is bringing these people to the country through an independent agreement that maybe will bridge the RCs, and maybe that will also empower these people to the level they were before. Definitely, Riek Machar as a politician will have these political antennas, and he will be able to inform the grantors that we are under attack. That is exactly what he has done. And also, these people of Tumaini have not decided to create anything new out of the old ones. Okay? It is the same artists that they are trying to copy-paste. And if you are copy-pasting my work, from academic point of view, is plagiarism.
Yes.
And you will be punished through the law of copyright. Yes. So, Riek Machar is depending on copyright. The angel, he doesn't know, he cannot accept. He will be sticking to the devil he knows, even if he is not gaining much. And the element of resources is also a factor. All these are not real, tangible facts that we can be able to say Riek is refusing because of this. But from his letter, we can be able to extrapolate the hidden theories that exist in that sense. So, RCs should not be thrown away because Tumaini is coming. We do not know what Tumaini means. And RCs also have a guidelines, and it has those who sign it. If there was a reason to abolish it today, it should be them to sit down to say we no longer need it. Let us throw it away. Although as South Sudanese, we don't want to be very happy with their extension. Extending it today, extending it tomorrow is something else. Today, whether it is a fake news or it's a genuine news, we are hearing that elections will be conducted on the 22nd of December. I don't know how that one is true or not true. There is also the inter-party dialogue. We don't know the outcome of the inter-party dialogue as yet, although fake news were circulated before. So let us wait. The country is completely volatile now with the politics in all corners of it. The politics of elections, the politics of extension, the politics of Tumaini. There are several of them sprouting here and there, including even a possible return to war, because Tumaini itself has deprived others of the opportunity to participate. And it was made clear that if you don't kill, you are not good. So there are people who are already planning to go and kill.
Correct.
But my call to them is that don't do it, please. You don't have to be pushed against the wall. We have to talk to these people by telling them that you are wrong, instead of going to kill the innocent people on the streets of our country.
But Dr. Sunday, this is what Makoilu had said when he gave his statement in Nairobi. He said, well, Stephen Boy is the only one that with the heavy military, knowing that anyone that is speak like us, non-violent opposition, UCC, SAP Progressive and NPM and others, they don't see they pose any threat to the government. that means that this government doesn't care about ideas. If you speak and you say there is something wrong here and you are not carrying the gun, they don't care. They have forgotten that Mandela actually, it was a non-violent, political movement that actually later, have brought a big change in South Africa, right? So the government that we have, they don't believe that actually people with just peaceful, like what we do now, they can, be trusted and people can talk to them. They can talk to them, posing the threat. That's what they do. But you're right, we are not going to be pushed because simply we don't carry the gun, and that's why we are not recognized. But at the same time, what battle Malong has fought since he became a rebel or since he became an opposition, or what battle Pagan has fought since he became an opposition, they did not fight. They just still have the big name of the SPLM that they have been in liberation struggle. But we are all contributing to this liberation of this country on the way or other. We have all contributed,
As a matter of truth,
yeah.
As a matter of truth, real SPLM, Malunga one, Boyrul Nyang, they don't have forces anywhere. Makui's statement was misplaced because he was threatened by fake media news, and he felt like he should just utter that word to give certain unnecessary weight to a person who has been even removed from the army, and is a mere civilian. As a matter of truth, our country is getting spoiled because leaders reason haphazardly. The way they are saying that you should have arms to be recognized, we don't even have to fight for recognition.
Mm-hmm.
We are known. We can contribute positively to our country. We have done it before. We have fought with AK-47, and we have fought also with intellectual prowess, debating with Khartoum until we won a case. I can assure you South Sudan is not existing because of the armed struggle alone. There was huge brain work put there by Dr. John Garang and those that he brought to talk sensibly to the international community and to the Arab themselves that we were fighting with. So, as a matter of truth, I am urging the South Sudanese not to go and kill South Sudanese because the Tumaini has created now a leeway for a return to war, and is rewarding people who cannot be a threat. If Pagan is left outside the country, if Malung is left outside the country, like they want to do to us, what is it that will not happen in South Sudan, or what is it that will happen in South Sudan? These are the questions. They are not a threat to the country in terms of military. They even don't carry good ideas. They would have used them long time ago to make the country better.
Mm-hmm.
When they were governors, when they were ministers, when they were the SGs of the army, of the parties, they could have done that before. There is nothing new that they are bringing. It is only that their coffers are empty. Many years ago, as I mentioned before, in 2019,
mm-hmm.
Ismail Wise came to us through a process called engagement with us. And later on, after our engagement in Nairobi with him, he went to Juba and he discussed with Salpa. President Salpa offered that you, Ismail, go and bring Malung together with 2 others or 3 others so that I can come and talk with them. I want to hear their case. Because when Malung left me here, he was going for treatment. And when he became a rebel and he's being engaged now, let him come to me to tell me this. Malung refused, and we have to write a letter. Myself, I wrote it to Ismail Wise, rejecting this as instructed by the leader. And again, it was reiterated that we should be engaged because we have called for a neutral venue. So the letter was replied again that we will be engaged in Entebbe, okay, Uganda. And again, Malung refused to be engaged in Entebbe. Now he is desperate that if you give him a ticket tomorrow and with a word of mouth that you will be safe, we will run there. The reason is simple. The coffers are now dry, and there is need now to run back to the country to loot the citizen again.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly the looting spree that they are going for. They are not going to right the wrongs that have gone to the country. They could not be leaving us here because we are good like them. We are citizens. We have ideas. We can be able to solve the problem of South Sudan. We just have no platform. We are being denied platforms, but we will still get the platform because platforms are not given. You work for them. We will work for that. Thank you.
Dr. Sunday Dijon, I know we have a lot, to talk. Even the issue that actually National Legislative Assembly had made an amendment, Article 54 and Article 55, that actually will give the national security, to arrest any South Sudanese who talk about the important issues, talk about the human right, talk about the corruption, talk about this without probable cause. They voted, those of the SPLM party, they voted for it. And others, which I believe 114, they voted against it. And also, there is a proposal that actually they want to make an extension, which is 24 months, like what they did before. And I made an episode before that actually President Kiir is not interested in election. He just wanted to drive people, to the end, to the dead end. And then later would say, oh, well, I have been saying that I need an election, but nobody is interested in election. And then what he has in his back of mind, which is an extension, it will come up with it. And this is exactly what had happened. I talked about this before, about the national dialogue, that actually it was meant to abolish the peace agreement of Addis Ababa. And he did actually, because when the results of national dialogue came out, he rejected the results. And he signed peace agreement, did not implement it. And now he talk about the election, but at the end of the day, he does not want to go for election because we knew it. We talk about it, that actually there is no standard for the election. There is no even prerequisite, for an election. So now, what is all this dilemma, Dr. Sunday? I think this is the last question. I want you to comment on this, on issues of election and issues of extension and issue of this article being amended, the national security can arrest. And that's why actually I was saying from the beginning, our positions as UCC, we want a constitution conference. So issues of South Sudan can be addressed through the constitution conference. We don't want any presidential decree. We don't want president appointing governor or appointing commissioners or appointing, he can appoint the executive president. That's his job. President cannot do this. We need separation of the power. We need judicial to be separated, to be independent. We need police to be independent. We need the executive to be independent, legislative to be independent. But now everything is under one man show. And that's why those, who call themselves historic leader, whether it's Pagan or whether it's Malone, they don't want people like us with an ideas to be on that round, conference, to have that, to press that ideas. So South Sudan can get out of this mess of, constitutional crisis. So we can have a new page. We can change, we can turn the page and have a new chapter in our history. So I want you to comment on that, and then I think we'll be able to conclude with the last statement. Go ahead, Dr. Sunday Dijon.
Okay, thank you very much, Brother Jonkor. With the current state of the country, I was saying that the country is currently raked with a lot of political heat in the directions that I have mentioned. The direction of Tumaini is a hit by itself. The other hit is the direction of elections. And the other hit is the issue of the laws that are being passed in the country by the national legislature. If we look keenly at the National Security Service Act, it is a document with only 18 pages. Okay, it is a document with only 18 pages, and the contest here is section 54.
Yep.
1 and 2 that was to be amended. The arrest without warrant. What I know is that most South Sudanese don't sit down to read the laws. They go and comment based on what they have heard from others.
Yes.
That is an assumption, and it does not work. Me, I don't know laws because I am not a lawyer or an advocate of any kind. but I can be able to understand from the common sense aspect about the dangers that this would pose. This article here, if we see, is talking about Section 54(1) and 2 of the Act shall be amended by adding and restructuring the subsections and further adding new subsection 3, 5, and 6, and resuming the original subsection 3 as subsection 4 to read as follows. Arrest without warrant. Any person who is found committing any of the offenses against the state provided under Section 7 of this Act, or who is reasonably suspected of having committed or having attempted to commit or being about to commit such an offense shall be arrested without a warrant in accordance with Section 13. When we look at this being written that the arrest without warrant, it generates a lot of fear, because one, it is an open statement that would allow anybody who is in charge there to do bad things. But from the silence of law, for example, the Police Act would always call for their arrest, warrant to be issued. But when the suspects are being captured, for example, Jonko, if I was to be stealing now, and I am found there stealing something, a car or money or anything that I am stealing.
There is a probable cause.
Do you think those who are seeing me doing that will first go to look for the warrant?
No.
They will immediately arrest me.
Yeah, because you violated the law already. Yes.
Yes. And what if I am killing somebody now? Should I be let go and those who were to catch me would go for a warrant first?
No.
All in all, the law is supposed to have been digested properly, and now the main work could have remained with the judiciary. The biggest problem that we have now is the dysfunctional judiciary. It's not the law that has been written. If the judiciary is to be functional,
to let you continue. Also, it has not been defined what offenses against the state they are talking about. What is it? Forgery? What offenses they are talking? Is it talking against the president? Because this is what I've seen. People are getting arrested, talking about the corruption, talking about human rights. Are those offenses to talk about the corruption, to talk about the freedom of expression, or to talk about the official are doing bad things? Are these crime against the state, or we are actually talking about the bad thing that individuals are committing, those who are in government? So they that's my question here.
Yes, that question is really good, and that is why I was saying that the only problem is that we have a dysfunctional judiciary, because the interpretation of the laws is not the making of the laws. The interpretation of the laws is usually the work of the judiciary. So the judicial system are the ones to actually define which offense is it, and through this act also they have been mentioned, because they have returned people to Section 7. The act shall be amended by deleting the word crimes, and then the offenses are offense against the state as for prescribed in the Penal Code Act 2008. These laws are interrelated. It is actually anchored on the existing laws, the Constitution and the Penal Code. But South Sudanese, because they like assumption, they begin to make noise on issues that are smaller than the real one. The real issues are, how does this law restrain the national security officials from using the institution to fight their enemies? From using their institution to handle trivial issues. For example, if you talk against the president of the United States of America today, you will not be in jail.
No.
No. Simply because it is your right.
It is my right. Yes.
And this also, if you read the Constitution of South Sudan, the first part of it is the Bill of Rights. you will be able to see these rights are being guaranteed. How the national security imprint them is what could have been restrained through the judicial interpretation of laws in a manner that is satisfying to all and that is accurate and to the point. All in all, I will not comment much on that, not because I like people to be arrested without warrant. I don't subscribe to that. I subscribe to the due process. But again, if an event was to happen and you are not restrained until a warrant is to be looked after, the crime would have already happened. All these are ambiguities that we cannot discuss in length because they are non-political, they are very much legal, and they need to be handled by the legal people so that they can be able to give us the right benefit that we deserve as citizens of the nation. But otherwise, talking about human rights, talking about all the liberties is a necessity, and we want it, and that is why we want the constitution that is not interim to restrain anybody that is using law wrongly. I think that is the point I can make on that. Coming to the idea of elections, it has been announced. I don't know whether that one is accurate because I have learned even in Tumaini, people write their proposal and they deny them later. Maybe the Electoral Commission leadership may deny that they have not announced. But I have heard they are announcing it, that the elections will be conducted on 22nd of December 2024 as a provision of the agreement. The agreement has ended last year, and it was the other year, and it was extended for 2 years. Now, there is a deadlock. President Salva wants to redeem himself. He is suffering from a number of things. Number one, I think too many vice presidents are a burden to him as a president. But he is also a burden to them, given the political calculations.
And he's a burden to the nation.
Yes. Now, with this bloated government, President is saying that we should give authority back to the citizen to decide who their leader should be. And Dr. Yagmachar is saying, no, the provisions of the agreement have not been fulfilled, letter and spirit. That is where the stalemate comes from. Now, the question that South Sudanese would ask is, are we not tired of extension? Because the extensions that are made do not benefit us. We don't benefit. It is the ministers and the like the vice presidents and the many MPs that benefit. Where is our faith here? All these are actually a prerequisite to dialogue. What is necessary now is an open dialogue. We have to talk about our issues. But who will create this dialogue is what I don't know. But the dialogue is a necessity now. The dialogue is a necessity so that people can be able to think together. There is also a big threat to the elections. Even when Kir is saying, he could be saying it because he wants to also evade other traps. For example, in the recent past, the United Nations, through its Security Council, has agreed and made a resolution that elections of South Sudan should not happen.
Yes.
Okay? If they happen, any government that will come as a result of those elections will not be recognized by the international community. That is already a London fact.
Because there is no conducive environment.
Yes. And if we were to wait for the conducive environment under a government that is not legitimate, will that government be accountable? Will they deliver services? Will they even work to create the conducive environment? These are the questions that come to mind. And they need back and forth kind of talks so that people can reach a consensus and build on that to shape the country. Because we are in a status quo, and to get out of the status quo, it needs real dialogue and understanding with open-mindedness and also the acknowledgement of the fact that we are South Sudanese regardless of who we don't like or who we like. So those are the factors that I see, my brother, and that one is a big debate. I can be able to deduce and you can be able to deduce, but we are a fortune Except when we allow other South Sudanese also to put their voices there, then can we come up with a concrete resolution that will take our country out of the mess it is in. We are truly in deep shit, they say. And that shit has to be handled through wisdom. And we know very well men that we regarded are men of wisdom are even chasing us away.
Yes.
Not to accept our small ideas that could contribute to a bigger one. Thank you.
Well, Dr. Sunday DeJohn, I really will appreciate it. I wish if the network would have allowed you to be seen on the screen. But anyway, the message that you have sent out are really credible and important. So phenomenal to have you today. I really will appreciate you. I want to give you the last word, on this, particularly to Maini initiative in Nairobi to send the last message. We are all now know that, and people of South Sudan should know that actually those call themselves historic leaders, whether it's Pagan or Malong and Rolyang, these people are not interested in new ideas. These people are not interested actually in a drastic change that actually will bring fundamental change in South Sudan, which is we categorize a constitutional conference that we have a constitutional conference that we can address all the issues, how the government should be the government system, and then what kind of system that we want, our economy, our army, our institution. These are the issues that need to be addressed, and soon we address that. This is actually what we stand for, and then the country will be prepared, to have an election, and then we will have a president that will not just, make a presidential degree, but a president that actually will listen to National Legislative Assembly, a president that will listen to the citizen, a president that will care. Okay, that's what it means. That's what change that we need. And if we don't do that, and if we do things wrong, like what happened in 2011, we have a wrong leader at the wrong time, we will continue with the chaotic situation that we are in. And that's what we reject as the people who are really concerned about our country. We don't mind those, who wanted to rush in simply because they feel like they are getting old and they want to get the position and have incentive that they used to have. This is not what we stand for. Dr. Sunday, I want to give you the last word, and then we conclude from here. Last statement.
Thank you very much, Brother Jonko. My last word is like this. On the issues that are currently happening in the country, extension, no extension, passing of laws, and the related elections, I would want the leaders currently in the country that are part of the revitalized ARSIS to commit to the fact that they don't have to return to war and use their brain adequately to bring South Sudan out of its mess. To the case of Tumaini, it has to be opened up. It is not too late. It has to be opened up or close to get all together. This inadequate approach to oppositions should be stopped. General Thomas Cirillo should be pursued. People should go to him.
Correct.
So that they can hear this idea that we have taken 2 or 10 men from him is not a solution to our problem. It is a futile cycle. We have to be honest. General Thomas Cirillo has a case, and he is a significant force in the country. And he has to be acknowledged because his idea is not flatly personal. He is not serving his ego. He would have run to the table with full speed so that he could go and grab a chance to be something in the country like vice president or a proposal of the prime minister like those of Pagat were doing. That is General Thomas Cirillo. The same thing should be extended to Gadwich Dual and other opposition leaders, including us who are being disturbed. We have a stake. We have affiliates. We can fight by proxy. We can fight directly, but that is not the direction our country needs now. We actually need peace. We should be tired of war because we are getting disrespected. We are losing our country to war. That is my message. And I would want South Sudanese to open up to dialogue, even at personal level, far away from home. Because I have seen even now the refugees in the refugee camp are fighting each other. And they do not seek refuge to come and initiate new fightings. They come actually to get the opportunity to survive and wait for the opportune time so they can return to their country. Let us renounce violence, even if it means we will be chased away from the country, that we are not violent. It is a good thing. We don't have to be violent in that aspect. And let us continue exposing the wrong leaders that have been hiding that they were statesmen. How can you deny other people peace when you really want it? You badly need peace and you don't want others to take part. Is that one not selfish? Is it not double standard? These are the questions that we should be asking ourselves. And I urge all South Sudanese to focus on their country, because we need South Sudan more than ever before, because there are so many threats. And those threats, we don't want them to take shape in our country. Let us not reward warlords. Let us not reward the mercenaries. A mercenary is a person who has sold his soul with money or any other material to get involved in the conflict of the neighbors. And those people should even be rejected more than those that have taken up arms against their own nation, because they have a good reason for that. And I will stop here, and I greet all South Sudanese. I will be ready to talk to you anytime if God provides us with a platform. Thank you very much.
Dr. Sunday, thank you, my brother, for coming to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan and speaking to the people of South Sudan. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
With that, my dear brothers and sisters, the viewers of Concerned Citizen of South Sudan, as Dr. Sunday, has mentioned it, we need that inclusivity. The issue of South Sudan are not issue of one person, of one ethnic, or one region, or one, community, are our issues and our issues. But you know what? People with characteristic of a scar, if you watch the Lion King movie, you will understand what I meant by characteristic of a scar, character, who actually wanted everything for himself, who were eager actually to get in power because he wanted to defeat it. He wanted his brother, Mufasa, who was the king, the king of the jungle, of course. He wanted his brother died so he can be in charge quickly. And this is what we have seen now. Those who call themselves, they want the issue of the country to be addressed from the root cause. But in reality, actually, that is not their intention. And that's why they have refused the inclusivity. And that's why when they have been asked, to identify the nonviolence oppositions, they refuse to mention nonviolent opposition. They refuse to mention all of us simply because we want the issue to be tackled from the beginning. So South Sudan can have a new beginning, can have a new past. We care about Constitution Conference, so issues can be addressed through Constitution Conference. When we have that Constitution Conference, whether it take place in the country or a neighboring country, wherever it can be, and then all the issues can be addressed. The governance, the economy, the rules of the law, and the independent institution in our country. This is what we need, because South Sudan has a crisis. The constitution that we have actually was fixed on a suit of President Kiir. And that's why actually late hero John Luke, who wrote that constitution, he one day have said, we fixed the constitution on the suit of President Kiir, and when President Kiir fell, is full, when his stomach got full, and then the button, Zirara, blew out and hit us on the face, those who wrote the constitution. We don't want that to repeat itself again. We don't want that. We don't want the constitution to be fixed, on one man's suit. And that's what had happened. That constitution was fixed on his suit. He can fire the elected governor. He can fire and hiring, and he can even fire the watcher, the custodian at the University of Juba. He can fire anyone he is not in charge of. That's why we call upon all South Sudanese to rise up on this matter, to understand their rights. And we will continue with this civic education, because this is our country. This is not country of Pagana Mom or Malongawan or Salva Kiir Mayar or Riek Machar or whoever. This is country of all. This is country of South Sudanese. And that's why we need this Constitution Conference. It would have been good, opportunity to be given to all South Sudanese intellectuals who have ideas to sit there and bring their vision. How do they see this country can move forward? We don't want to narrow it to individuals who are really eager, looking for the power to become prime minister or a minister of defense or whatever, and they continue to loot and they continue to dance with the kumbaya. No, we need the real talk, inclusivity, real talk. Everyone must be involved. So when we get out of there, and then our house will be built on a strong cornerstone. When that house is built, when that country is built on the strong cornerstone, it will last, and it will last forever. But right now, our country has been built on the sand, and any easy flood will get it away. It will take it away. And we should not allow that to happen. We should not allow that to happen. We should not allow those greedy, who want to get in power, scare us and just intimidate us and say, no, you are young, you should stay back. And when I retire, and then you step in, then how am I going to learn? We have ideas actually better than what they have. They don't have any ideas. We need this country to get out of this mess. And that's why we must continue. They are wearing nationalist clothes, but their underwears are tribalist. And we will not accept that. We shall not accept that. When they come and speak to you in the media, they talk about root causes. They talk about inclusivity. They talk about how everybody has to have input on this. But in reality, when they go closed door, they say, no, man, we are those, we are those, we are those, we are those. We were in jungle, we are this. But every South Sudanese contributed. Whether you contribute a chicken or contribute a cow or, do a sorghum, we contribute ideas for this nation. And we voted together. And that's why we have the Republic of South Sudan. No one can intimidate us. No one shall intimidate us. That's what need inclusivity, so we can have a fundamental constitution that will guarantee right of the people of South Sudan. The governance, the economy, rules of law, our culture, our well-being in the region, our international relationship in the region, our borders. These are the most important thing. But those of Pagan, they just wanted to rush in. They wanted to rush in. And that's why they wouldn't even care. They would think that we are activists. We are not opposition. Well, we were opposition even before they become an opposition. So I really, really appreciate you for watching. Please, I want you to go ahead and share this live, episode. Share it on the Facebook. Share it on the YouTube. And please don't forget to go to the YouTube and subscribe our channel and the John Cormayol right there. Please share it. This is what you can do. This is what you can do for your country. You can help. You can help spread the word. And to spread the word, you need to share this. You need to share this. This is your country. And if you chose to be in back seat, then there will be no progress. Then we will not move anywhere. It is your right. It is our right. It is our collective responsibility to have that moral courage, because we need this country to come out of a mess. President Kiir will never accept. He believes in extensions, not election. There will be no election. I said it before, and I'm saying it. And what I said, that's what I meant. And that's what it is. Okay, we file a case against this corrupt government because they are borrowing money on your name. They are borrowing money that they are going to do a developmental project in the country, but they don't do anything. They are borrowing money and they pocket it. They put in the pocket, send it outside with their kids, with their family. We should not give up. We cannot quit. We cannot quit. We will continue. This is our right. Thank you for watching. And with that, I will leave you until we meet again next week. I'm so sorry. I apologize that actually I have a lot of issues that was going on for the last month, but now we are settled and we are back. Please share this. Share it to all South Sudanese. I am happy that actually South Sudanese are start waking now. The more protests in Bor. Last month was protests in University of Bahar Ghazal, and soon there will be more protests in the country. No one is going to give you a right. You have to take your right. Thank you. That is not what I want. So I want to leave you with song. Maybe I can do what I did before. Hopefully that song will be here. about this.
Nyere goy balang jaba bianan nyere go ganye bintiao nyere go kanye lona nyere go kanye gawa nyere go kanye panga nyere go nye na ter nye la yor de kanye lu enor gwa mugur muga nyamuga mugur muga pen nyanara nyamiga kajijenge lejbore nyawi enya lej paya nor temlinja. You nas to go and go to a chicken kulu. I jing to go, kellu. You go, Jenny Indian. Okay, Indian, ye kawaii, ye so balang is up ya. Like boor and yo in one. And ya like fire, nor temelinja. You nas to go and go to a chicken kulu. I jing to go, kellu. Junior Bay, Yedin Yam and Lake Gun, we call the bay, Chamgal, and Yajunu, Miss Burcha, we call the bay, Chamgal, and Yajunu, Miss Ladjor, we call the bay, Chamgal, and Yajunu, Miss Gintiao, we call the bay, Chamgal, and Yajunu, Miss Gawar, we call the bay, Chamgal, and Yajunu. Miss Vanga Gizira, we call the bay, Chamgal, and Yajinu. And Morgan, Magur Muga, Yamaga, when Yanara, Yamaga, Kajik, Edbore, Yawi, and Ya Lake Paya, North Temlinja. You nas to go and go to a chicken kulu. I jing to go, hello. You go, Jenny Indian. Okay, Indian, ye kawaii, ye so balang is up ya. Like boor and yo in one. And ya like fire, nor temelinja. You nas to go and go to a chicken kulu. I jing to go, hello. Kanye panda, here go and ye natter, ye let your Kanye. And Morgan, Magur Muga, Yamaga, when Yanara, Yamaga, Kajik, Edbore, Yawi, and Ya Lake Fire, North Temlinja. You nas to go and go to a chicken kulu. I jing to go, kellu. You go, Jenny Indian. Okay, Indian, ye kawaii, ye so balang is up ya. Like boor and yo in one. And ya like fire, North Temlinja. You nas to go and go to a chicken kulu. I jing to go, kellu. Junior Bay, Yedin Yam and Lake Gun, we call the bay, Chamgal, and Yajunu, Miss Burcha, we call the bay, Chamgal, and Yajunu, Miss Ladjor, we call the bay, Chamgal, and Yajunu, Miss Gintiao, we call the bay, Chamgal, and Yajunu, Miss Gawar, we call the bay, Chamgal, and Yajunu. Miss Vanga Gizira, we call the bay, Chamgal, and Yajinu. Kanwar kawan mugur mugwa, nyamaga mugur mugwa, kwen yanwara nyam